What's good, Cowboy Nation? Today we're talking about a player who brings intensity, toughness, and game-changing ability to the defensive side of the football. A player whose combination of size, athleticism, and relentless effort makes him one of the most intriguing edge defenders in the NFL. A player who has built his reputation by hunting quarterbacks, setting the edge against the run, and bringing energy to every snap. Let's dive into the impact, production, physical tools, and overall role of Dallas Cowboys pass rusher Rashan Gary. Rashan Gary is the kind of player who commands attention. He isn't just another defender lining up on the edge either. He's a physical force capable of changing the complexion of the game with one play. Standing at 6'5" and weighing roughly 280 pounds, Gary possesses a rare combination of size, strength, speed, and athleticism that defensive coordinators dream about. He looks every bit like a modern NFL edge rusher, but what separates him is the way he moves. For a player of his stature, he can beat an offensive tackle with pure power on one snap, and then on the next he can beat him with speed. Dallas brought in Gary to bolster a pass rush group that needed help on the edge. Now, analysts noted that he is expected to be a significant contributor to the Cowboys' edge rotation. This is important because modern NFL defenses are built around affecting the quarterback. No matter how talented a secondary may be, generating consistent pressure is what forces mistakes, create turnovers, and changes games. And he has a proven history of doing exactly that. Now let's get into some of this production. Over 7 seasons in Green Bay, he accumulated 46.5 career sacks, 46 tackles for loss, and 111 quarterback hits. Those aren't empty stats either. They represent years of disrupting offenses, collapsing pockets, and making quarterbacks uncomfortable. Every sack tells a story of effort and technique, where the quarterback hits and pressures are often just important. They speed up decision-making, force errant throws, and create opportunities for teammates across the defense. Now, what makes Gary valuable? He isn't just a pass rusher. Film shows that at this stage of his career, he may actually be one of the more complete edge defenders because of his ability against the run. Now, that's pretty big for Dallas because they got rid of their edge defenders. But defensive ends who can rush the passer are more common than none. Defensive ends who can consistently set the edge, fight through blocks, and stop ball carriers before they turn the corner are far more difficult to find. For offensive coordinators, they got a game plan against a player like Gary. They got to account for him every snap. If they leave a tackle isolated, Gary has the strength to drive him backwards. If they commit extra blockers, it creates opportunities for the rest of the defense. Now, that's the hidden value elite rushers bring. Now, sometimes that's the biggest impact that never show up on the stat sheet, when you draw a lot of attention so your other teammates can have favorable matchups. Another aspect of Gary's game that deserves recognition is his resilience. Early in his career, he suffered a significant ACL injury, but he battled back and returned to productive form. He recorded 9 sacks in 2023 and later earned Pro Bowl recognition. That determination speaks volumes about his mentality. The NFL is filled with talented athletes, but the players who sustain success are often the ones who refuse to let setbacks define them, and Gary was one of them. His presence brings experience as well. He entered the league, the 12th overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft, and spent, years competing against some of the best offensive linemen in football. Veterans like him become tone setters in the locker room. They understand preparation, they understand weekly game planning, they understand what it takes to perform under pressure. What should Cowboys fans expect from Gary? Expect effort, expect physicality, and expect a player who attacks offensive linemen rather than reacting to them. Expect a defender who plays with non-stop motor and who can create momentum-changing plays. Even when the sack numbers aren't piling up, his impact can be felt through pressures, run stops, and disruption. His job is to make the opposing quarterback life miserable. And throughout his career, with 46.5 sacks, he has demonstrated that ability to do exactly just that. Gary brings some attitude to this edge room. The best defenses play aggressively, they play confidently, and they impose their will. Gary embodies their style of football. When he's firing off the line, chasing down quarterbacks, and energizing his teammates, he becomes the kind of player who can spark an entire unit. So when you think of Gary in a Cowboys uniform, think of power, think of athleticism, think of speed, think of production. Think of a battle-tested veteran with nearly 50 sacks who still has the ability to impact games in multiple ways, not just pass rushing. And for the Dallas Cowboys, that's exactly the kind of defender you want leading the charge on Sundays. He makes it hard to run outside, hard to establish balance, hard for offenses to stay on schedule. Every time he sets a strong edge, he forces the offense into a more predictable situation. And that's a major advantage for the Dallas Cowboys defense. I mean, how can I compare him with the other major Cowboy defenders on the defense, such as Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Overshown? I mean, if you look at it this way, the best way I could describe it is Quentin Williams collapses the pocket. Kenny Clark controls the line of scrimmage. Overshown hunts the football. But Rashan Gary does a little bit of everything. I'm going to use the 3 P's for Rashan Gary: power, passion, and pressure. That's the Rashan Gary effect. And that's Cowboys defense at its finest. That's why coaches love players like Rashan Gary. His impact extends well beyond his individual statistics. He creates chaos, and chaos creates opportunities. This your boy Heavy Chevy. Follow me on X. Follow me on YouTube at Cowboys Politics. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.